as women, we are extremely intuitive. We have always had this inner guidance, this inner voice, and along the lines, we have stopped tapping into it. In this video, what we're going to do, we are going to tap back into that inner voice, that inner force, that inner knowing. We're going to team up with her, and she's going to become our greatest guide that we always have access to. This is going to lead to more clarity, more confidence, more calm, more groundedness, and more of a sense of knowing in our decision making that is so beyond priceless. I'm so excited for you to experience this. Okay, I want to kind of explain where we've lost this inner voice and inner sense. We all have an inner voice, and it's always there narrating our life. And for a lot of us, this has become such background noise. It's almost like an air conditioner. Like we don't even recognize it. We don't even hear it. And the first thing I want you to start to do is start to tap into that inner voice. This inner voice often shows up as thoughts of, oh, you really should do it like this. You really should hop on and do that email. You really could have done better. You have a minute to yourself. You really should be doing this thing or that thing. It might show up like a lens for all the things that you could be anxious or fearful in your day. It could be like nervous energy, like what if this, what if that? What am I going to do when this happens? What if that happens? God forbid this, feelings like that. It might show up as judgment or criticism. How dare you wear that? You look so fat. Look at your wrinkly face. Like this voice tends to get really loud when you look in the mirror, ladies, especially first thing in the morning when we're picking our faces apart. I want you to start to connect that inner voice with our inner self and our intuition. Stay with me here, okay? That inner voice is our inner roommate. It's our intuition. It's our inner guidance. And what we're going to start to do is we're going to name her so we can team up with her. So we'll get there in a second. I want you to start to further elaborate on the kinds of things that your inner voice, that your narrator says to you. I want you to start to almost like create a theme for them, right? So like, is it a critical voice? Is it a nervous voice? Is it a should voice? Is she shoulding all over you with all the things you should be doing or shouldn't be doing? Is she constantly talking? Is she like really chatty and fast-paced? Is she kind of slow and like heavy? All those things. I want you to really start to think about that. And I want you to create a name for this inner voice. And it's really fun if when you do this, you make a 2-word name with the beginning words sounding the same. So for instance, if your inner voice is one that's like, what if this, what if that, thinking of all the things you could be anxious or fearful about, like Nervous Nelly would be a really good name for this inner voice. If your voice is constantly talking and telling you all the things you need to be doing, Chatty Cathy is one that could fit. If she's judgy and critical, right? She could be Judge Judy. She could be anything. But the more kind of silly and fun you can make this name, the better. What we're going to start to do is we're going to start to recognize when this voice is chiming in, realizing she is not you, she is an inner roommate, and we need to change the way that she shows up. Probably without realizing, for most of your life, as you're hearing this inner voice and this inner chatter, you have been aligning with her and just like taking everything on viscerally in your body that she is saying, right? If it's things like what you should be doing, you can feel this heaviness, literally shoulder tension. Maybe you feel stress in your stomach. Maybe you feel tightness, angst. If she's someone who's nervous, again, that might show up in your stomach, that might show up in your neck muscles. Like you are literally taking on everything she has said. What we're going to start to do is create a little bit of a distance between this inner roommate and our true self, our highest self. So there's our Chatty Cathy, and then there's the higher self that's just a little bit removed that can kind of like listen to Chatty Cathy or Judge Judy or Nervous Nelly and start to see it as more of a game, like, oh, here she comes again. Here she's chiming in into my life and all the things I should be doing or could be nervous about. I'm going to choose to recognize that this is her chatting away. So you're going to start to identify that inner voice. You're going to create a theme for the things that she talks about, for the way that she shows up. You're going to name her. You want to get as descriptive as possible. So almost what can be helpful for this is obviously doing this on paper is really impactful. I want you to think about you're describing this inner roommate to a friend, right? So like, say it's Nervous Nelly is your inner roommate. Your friend is like, hey, should I hang out with this chick? Is she cool? How would you describe her? Nervous Nelly might be described as like, well, she's super high energy. She's going to remind you of all the stuff in your life that like could go wrong. She's probably not someone that you want to go get a strong coffee with, because if so, by the end of the coffee, you're going to be freaking out in full stress mode. That is Nervous Nelly. That's how I would describe her. So go ahead and describe her to a friend and create her name. Okay. Now I'm going to plant a seed that's going to help you understand why you have this inner roommate that is showing up the way she's shown up for your entire life, and that you have the ability to completely change her narrative into a more powerful inner guide and voice. If this inner roommate is going to be living in us, which again, she has our entire lives for as long as we can remember, what if we could change her voice from naggy, stressful, nervous, judgy to an incredible, beautiful, loving, all-knowing, powerful inner guide? What if we could turn her into like the best friend, the best sidekick we could ever ask for? Well, we can. Hey, quick pause. If you are someone who loves a checklist because it makes you feel like, all right, I actually did something today, this is for you. I created something called the Self-With Checklist. It's basically your super simple reminder to get in your regulation reps, those 2 minutes, 3 times a day, for you in those micro moments you actually have. This isn't another thing to add to your busy to-do list. The power is in how simple and subtle this is. You'll be shocked how much more connected and grounded you start to feel just by checking off these tiny boxes consistently. You can grab it through the first link below in the description or by scanning the QR code here. You were born with this inner voice. And as women, we are designed to tap into that inner voice. That is one of our best gifts as women that men maybe have, but I think it's really, truly where we shine as women. You're given this incredible, beautiful, amazing tool, and we don't listen to it, right? We've stopped listening to it. So picture that inner roommate that you're gifted with the day that you're born as a woman. Picture she's in you, just waiting to be able to tell you all the things so that you can work together and be best friends. You're going to talk about everything. You're going to share your deepest secrets. Think about, she is like your best friend. Picture your best friend. You tell her everything. She knows everything about your life. You call this best friend anytime something big is coming up. Any major decision you have, you go to this best friend, you meet her for coffee, you ask her for advice, and you take advice. Okay? If you have one of those relationships in your life, consider yourself lucky, because not every woman does. But if you do, I want you to picture that friend, that best friend that you have in real life. You go to her for everything. You listen and you take action. And what if all of a sudden, one day, out of nowhere, you stopped communicating with her? You stopped talking to her. You stopped taking her phone calls. You stopped meeting her for lunch. You completely turned your back on her and just disappeared. Like out of nowhere. You spent every day together, all day, every day. And poof, like everything changes overnight. She has no idea why it changed. You gave no indication of anything changing in your relationship. How would this best friend of yours in real life feel? She'd probably feel very confused, right? At first, she'd probably feel really sad. She'd probably feel really hurt, betrayed. And after days and days and weeks, maybe it's like sad, worry, confused, all the things, she comes to find out you're okay. You didn't get hurt. You just changed your mind. You didn't want to have this relationship with her anymore. Then how would she feel? Probably pissed off, probably angry, probably resentful, probably like, who the hell does she think she is, right? That kind of energy. Well, let's go back to your inner roommate. Maybe that was your inner guide. I mean, if you watch little girls, like they are very present. They're very tuned in. They do what makes them happy. I'm sure they're very much teamed up with this inner voice. And then at some point, because society teaches us to, we stop listening. So think about that best friend that you stopped meeting for coffee and put that voice, put that friend in your body. She's pissed off. She's angry. She doesn't understand why you stopped listening. That is who you have guiding your life, right? That is Chatty Cathy. That is Nervous Nelly. That is Judge Judy. So what if it really works? Like, what if it's this easy? What if it's this playful? What if it's this fun for you to completely change all this in your life? It's free. She's with you all the time. What if you can make her more powerful, more all-knowing, more grounded, more conscious, and more working with you in your life? And you can. I'm here to tell you can. And here's how you do it. Okay. She's your inner self, and she is who you're going to start to think about when you hear the term self-care. We're going to completely shift self-care on its head. Self-care is no longer massages and bubble baths. Those things are incredible. Definitely seek them out. Take your time to do them. But I am someone who's like, I cannot fit another appointment on my schedule. I cannot carve out an hour as often as I would need it to do these things for self-care. I want you to forever now, going forward, when you think about self-care, you are caring for that inner self. You are meeting that friend for coffee again. You are realizing how powerful she was in your life. You want her back. You never want to turn your back on her again. And you're going to take care of her in a way that makes her understand that you're not going anywhere and that you will forever work together in this friendship, in this relationship. You're going to take her advice. You're going to take action from there, and she is going to trust you again. How do you care for that inner self? This is the next question. Oh, this is so fun. How do you care for her? What I want you to do is start to write down 5 different categories of things that you are going to choose from. Whatever one she wants is the one that's going to resonate the most with you. And so throughout your days, when you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, I want you to pick something in one of these categories that sounds good to you. Put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, ask yourself, see what that is there? Ask yourself, what is it that I really want in this moment? And whatever thought pops in is the answer. Take action from there. You're caring for yourself, which is going to help you bring back your intuition, feeling more grounded, feeling more balanced, and sitting in the seat of our incredible feminine power that we have stopped using for so long. Okay, so here's your 5 categories. I would write these down. You are going to give yourself choices for one of these 5 things. So 1, you're going to do things that help you get in your body. What does that mean? Examples of this could be things like dancing, yoga, stretching, running, working out, right? So I've got 10 minutes. It's been a crazy day. I'm on emails all day. Put my hand on my heart. What is it that I want in this moment? I want to get in my body. Okay, I have 10 minutes. What do I have access to? Perhaps I'm in the office and there's a lot of people around me. Maybe getting in my body isn't realistic. So we'll go into one of the other choices. But if you work from home, like I do a lot of the time when I'm in between emails, if I get the clue or the inner knowing that I want to get in my body, I have 10 minutes, I might go for a quick bike ride. I might literally do some squats and push-ups. It gets you out of your brain, into your body, and back into your heart. Okay, choice number 2, get into the heart. So this is things that are more around being than doing. These are going to foster a sense of connection and presence. These are things that are going to feel really nurturing. So this might be like, go outside and put my face in the sun if it's nice out. It might be just like sit on my PMF mat or sit on my couch and like do nothing, stare outside the window, like just be. Those would be the getting in the heart. Another one, choice number 3, get in the world or in the environment. These are in nature, right? So activities like hiking, sitting by a tree, walking on the beach, getting in the ocean, depending on what you have access to, something about getting in nature in the environment. This is going to create expansive feelings. Like nature often will do that. So we can get in our small day-to-day to-do tasks. Getting out in nature in the world is going to create more expansive thoughts and connection within ourselves. Learning a new skill. I mean, this is sometimes like more of a, I feel like you would anchor to this on a weekend where you have more space to figure out what that new skill is. And then you can spend you can have these micro experiences tapping into that skill. I'll give you an example in a minute. Working on a new skill helps you align with your purpose. This can be through something like meditation, right? If meditation is new to you, I started skateboarding. So like I'll go to a skateboarding class and then maybe, if I have a 10-minute break here or there, I'll go play on my skateboard and just like balance, whatever. This can be, joining a group where it's not necessarily a new skill, but it's like a new piece of knowledge in your life. And then the last one, a connection with divinity. So for some people, this might be like a religious connection, going to church or going wherever it is in your life that can feel like you have access to God or spirit or something, bigger or greater than you. This could be for someone who maybe has a more spiritual practice, like creating an altar in your home, maybe some meditation cards, any of the things. So basically what's a great idea to do is write down these 5 choices and stick them somewhere, maybe multiple places where you can see them throughout the day. If you work in an office, maybe type them really small, like on a little card and stick on your computer, right? So you've got these 5 choices. So when you have 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and you're feeling scattered and you need to recreate that connection with yourself, pick one of these 5 choices, take action, and do it. Self-care needs a rebrand, and that's exactly why I wrote this book, The Connection Code, and it's out now. I'm so excited. I wrote this for the woman who feels like she has lost herself or just simply needs a reminder that everything she's searching for is already inside of her. Inside this book, you're going to find simple, science-backed tools to help you reset in real life moments, like in the carpool line or between back-to-back meetings, or maybe when you catch yourself unfortunately snapping at the people you love most. I designed the cover and made it playful on purpose because so many of us have lost this aspect of ourselves, and we need that invitation and reminder to bring back joy every single day. Pre-order your copy today, and you'll also get access to some amazing freebies to help you start regulating your nervous system and reconnecting with yourself right away. This is by far one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. This also makes self-care super easy. And this is going to translate into getting back into our beautiful feminine power that we have lost for so long. Ladies, this is going to get you back to feeling like yourself again. And I mean, you can see it on my face. Like, this creates so much joy, alignment, a purpose-driven life, and so much happiness in your life. It's really effortless. It's playful. It's fun. I want to hear the name of your inner self. I would love to hear what you name her. Drop it in the comments below. I want to hear any feedback on how this goes for you. I also would love, if you liked this video, throw a like under it. If there's someone else in your life that you want to do this with, maybe that real life best friend that you meet for coffee, go ahead and hit the share button and send it her way. This is such a fun, interactive thing to do together, to create the name of your inner self and share it with your friends. And as always, I love seeing you here. So I look forward to next time. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that episode, and I'll see you soon.